So we're going to talk about writing foods down. Is it important or is it not? In my opinion, for the average American, hell yes, it's important. At one point in life, and I'm not saying that it has to be done every day for your whole life, but there needs to be a point where you do that every day. And the reason I say that is because right now you look the way you look due to how you eat / live your lifestyle of activity like working out or being lazy. But most of how you look comes from how you eat. The reason why you need to write these things down is so you can see what your eating habits are like. I'll tell some people, okay, you're only supposed to take in 35 or 40 grams of fat for the day, okay? And then they come and they're talking about, oh, I went to Starbucks and I had this drink, or I went, I had some alcohol, I had this. So they blow their fats by just crazy amounts of numbers by going out to eat and things of that sort. So when you're writing your foods down, you know exactly where your numbers are at as far as your carbs, your fats, and your proteins. So you're never gonna have to worry about going over if you're writing your foods down. So now what do I mean by saying write the numbers down? What I mean by saying write the numbers down is I personally do not suggest writing your numbers throughout the day as you eat. That just doesn't work for me, and I realize it doesn't work for most people. I believe you should write your numbers down in the morning. And that means that you're prepping your food in the morning or the night prior, however you want to do it. Some people start their foods on Sunday, cook them all the way up until Wednesday. Some people do it for the whole week. I personally make mine every morning. So in the morning time, as I'm cooking, I'm writing out how many fats this has, how many carbs this has, how many proteins this has. So let's just say your max amount of carbs for the day is 300. Your max amount of protein is, I don't know, let's just say 100. I'm just throwing numbers out there. Excuse me. And then your max amount of fat is, say, 40, okay? When you make your first meal in the morning, what you want to do is look at the ingredients and say, okay, well, let's say you have a serving of brown rice and a serving of peas, okay? So the serving of brown rice, you'll have like about 1.5 grams of fat, depending on which rice you get. You have 1.5 grams of fat, and you'll take that 1.5 grams of fat and you'll subtract that from your total amount of fat that you have from the day. So what I say, 40 grams? So you subtract 1.5 from 40, right? So now that means you have 38.5 grams of fat left for the day. Now, what you do is you look at your carbs. Your average amount of carbs from brown rice is, I think, 35. So you'll subtract that 35 from 300 that you have of total allowance for carbs for the whole day. You'll take that 35 and subtract that from 300, okay? And then you'll go and you'll take the protein. I think the brown rice has like 3 or 4 grams of protein. We'll say 3. You take that 3, you subtract that from the 100 proteins that you have for the whole day. Now you have 97 grams left. And then you move on to your peas, so you want to subtract those. So as you're cooking, you're subtracting numbers and you're seeing where you're at, so that then you'll know 100% that you hit your numbers. Now you have to write down everything you put in your mouth that has calories. So if you're drinking water, that's totally fine. You don't have to write that down. But if you're out there drinking coffees, you got to write that down. If you're out there drinking them energy drinks, you got to write that down. My biggest thing that I also want to say think of the importance of writing stuff down is think of your body as a finished product. Like you today is a finished product of what you did yesterday and what you ate, how you worked out, That's who you are today and tomorrow. You're a product of what you did the days prior. So if you're not writing your stuff down, you're a product of failure every day. You're just walking failure. And who wants to walk around like that? You know what I'm saying? So you really have to think about that. When you tell yourself, I'm going to start writing my foods down, I'm going to get healthier, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to be who I feel is the best version of me that I can be. And you say you're going to do it and you don't write shit down. You don't cook nothing. You don't do nothing. And you're like, oh, I'm going to be honest, I failed. Well, I don't want you to be honest. I want you to be consistent. So you be consistent and say, I did not fail because I was consistent in what I said I was going to do, and I kept my word to myself. You know what I'm saying? So like if you think of, let's think of beer. Let's just take beer. Someone wrote the ingredients down to that beer that you like to drink all the time. And the reason it tastes so good every time is because someone wrote down the perfect ingredients to make that beer taste the perfect way for you to continue to buy it and mess your body up with it. So what you need to do is take that same diligence and consistency and meticulous movements and, attention to detail that the manufacturers of that beer that you drink, that cigarette that you smoke, that, you know what I'm saying, that burger that you get when you go through the drive-through, somebody wrote down the ingredients to make that shit taste exactly the same every time. And then they start doing things to make it get better and better and better to make you keep on buying and buying and buying. So you take that same attention yourself and say, I'm gonna put that attention toward my food so I can make sure that I'm looking the best way that I can look so that I never fail. So that when it comes time for me to weigh in on that scale, I know those numbers drop, because there's no way that it couldn't have, because I did everything 100% to the T. There's no, I did good, but I did good except for, don't dead that. Do good and just keep it there. So write your numbers down, follow what you're doing, get a goal, stick to that shit, and be happy with you naked. Peace.